Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Logical Nonsense Podcast. We are here today for the episode 50, part 1. We're excited to announce the top 50 sports moments of the 2000s and 2020s is here. All of our favorites, more to store. But before we begin, if you want to be entered into the giveaway, make sure to comment right now. I will see your username, and then we'll be drawing on Instagram Live those names into a little pot. So make sure to comment right now if you want to be entered into that giveaway. Super excited to have these boys on. How are we doing today, boys?
Doing very well. Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. Episode 50. We made it. We're excited to
We
do
made
this.
it, boys. Episode 50. Damn. Yeah, thanks for everyone that's tuned in today and tuned in ever. You know, it's a big deal to make it to 50 episodes. Started this as a little side hobby, and it's turned into something I really enjoy doing. So thanks everyone for supporting us. Let's hop in right away with Dodge's 50 through 41. We will start there. Give me 1 second to share his list. Here we are. Dodge. Let me scroll up here. Let me take off the banner real quick. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so starting with number 50, we've got the MLB 2001 ALCS when Jeter flips it to home to get the runner out. 49, we have the Super Bowl 47 Harbaugh Bowl when the two brothers are coaching against each other. 48, we got Derrick Rose, NBA 2011, and he's won the youngest MVP ever. 47, NFL 2013, Peyton Manning breaks the single season touchdown record. 46, in the MLB, Ichiro breaks the single season hit record. 45, in 2007, MLB, Barry Bonds breaks the all-time home run record. 44, Super Bowl 52, Phillies special. Just an obvious one right there. 43, World Series, Game 3, 2011, Albert Pujols hits 3 home runs. And Super Bowl 54, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in that era wins their first Super Bowl. And 41 is Super Bowl 48, where the Hawks win, baby. And it all starts at that first place safety.
Boo! Hate that play. No, but interesting list. We'll get that to a second. First, we're going to play what Dodge has selected as his moment from these 10. Let's go to David Stern.
2010-11 MVP trophy.
Look at that young man. All right, Dodge, what about this moment did you want to highlight?
Yeah, so, I mean, the reason why this is in my top 50, right, is that he's the youngest ever to win the MVP. He was only 22 years of age in his third season in the league, right? And it just shows how much he took the league by storm since coming out of college. And I mean, he was the guy everybody wanted to be. As much as there was LeBron and D-Wade, Derrick Rose was with those same guys. And everybody wanted to be like D Rose that year. Just electric from the point guard position, something that has only been replicated a few times by a few special players. His dynamic in the game just was game changing. And yeah, I mean, I have here he averaged 25, 4, and 7. And unfortunately, the following year, we would see him have his ACL injury, and the fall of D Rose would happen then. But that's why it's super significant on this list. I don't know if we might see someone break that record just because now you can get into the league sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be really hard to break that record. So
it's interesting too, because Derrick Rose, like you said, he's so young and he took the league by storm. Like, we still talk about like his influence, like, and he's one of the biggest what if stories too. Like, if he didn't tear his ACL, we constantly ask, what would he be like? Would he still be terrorizing defenders that are, way bigger than him in the paint? Because he was just that guy. He was him, So it'd be interesting to see what he would have done. There is some controversy with this MVP trophy, though. Some people think it should have gone to LeBron. What do you think about that?
I think there's a case every year for LeBron to be getting the MVP.
That's fair.
It's the reason why he's, if not the greatest basketball player ever, in the top 2.
Not for this podcast, Dodge. Not for this podcast. Come on now.
I'm just gonna say it. But no, I think at age 22 to be doing what he was doing, and you do have to take into account as well when with the MVP, with the cultural movement that he had of just every young kid wanted to be like D Rose. And I remember going out and playing in my basketball hoop in my backyard, and I'm a Celtics fan, yet I was the Bulls, right? And I was trying to do all this athletic stuff in my backyard to be like D Rose. So that's why.
Hey, do you got any comments on D Rose?
Oh, absolutely. I will say I think he will be the youngest MVP probably for a long time, maybe forever, because you see all these players coming in now, Victor Wembanyama, super young, but just how competitive the NBA is today. I don't think any of these young guys will be able to kind of take the league by storm the way that D Rose did. Yeah, and it's definitely an iconic moment. And like Dodge said, everybody our age, was trying to do 360 windmills, trying to be like D Rose, layups, really revolutionized kind of a attack system for the guard that we don't really see nowadays. And he doesn't get hurt. He probably could rattle off a couple more MVPs the way, he was playing at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this isn't the only time D Rose is on this list. I'll just say that. But I do think his influence is beyond. It's crazy because like what did he have? Maybe 3 or 4 really good years, if that. I mean, I don't know the exact stat, so I could be spitting, but it's crazy his influence in such a little amount of time is what I'm getting at. So
right.
But let's move on because we got a big list to get through. So Kaden, we will move to your list. Give me 1 second. Kaden. Okay, and all right, here we go, Cade.
All right. So at my number 50, I got something that happened recently over this weekend. The Lions break a curse, get their first home playoff win since 91. Things are looking up in Detroit. All those people that bared with that 0-16 season. So I had to include them in my top 50. 49, I had Serena Williams winning the 2003 Grand Slam, one of 5 tennis players to hold all 4 Grand Slams at one time. Number 48, I have Tim Tebow's 80-yard overtime touchdown against the Steelers to Demaryius Thomas. Rest in peace, DT.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute amazing play. 47, I got Deshaun Jackson's punt return touchdown Christmas weekend against the Giants, make a 24-point comeback. I don't know why they punted him the ball. 46, I got Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon in the dunk contest 2016, greatest dunk contest of all time, potentially. The last time we've seen a good one. 45, I got the Red Sox come back down 3-0 against the Yankees to break their curse in 2004, and then they won the World Series that year. 44, I got McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight, 10th round TKO, kind of brought 2 different worlds together. 43, I got Indiana's buzzer beater against that 2011 Kentucky team with Anthony Davis from the top left wing. 42, I got Marshawn Lynch beast mode run against the Saints in the playoffs. And at 41, I got the LSU and Texas A&M game that went to 7 overtimes and killed the OT rule in college football, 74-72.
That's crazy. That's nuts. All right, let's go to your YouTube video we got for you that you have selected. Your moment is dun, 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 Marshawn Lynch beast mode. Ah, let me turn on the sound.
Oh, look at this run. What a run. Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at Drew Brees.
Beast mode.
Hasselback.
Good
Heat.
effort as I've ever seen in my life from a running back who they traded for from Buffalo.
What a moment. All right,
Man.
Cade, break it down.
Bro, it just gives me chills every time I see that play because the Seahawks were 7-9 that year. They weren't supposed to be there, but they won a very bad division, and everyone wrote them off. They didn't write back. Marshawn Lynch takes it to the crib, breaks about 25 tackles. It seemed like disrespect at the end, and really, started that Legion of Boom era for the Seahawks. Kind of started their run to greatness, and it's just one of those plays that everyone knows. And
Yep.
when you talk about Marshawn Lynch's legacy, Skittles, everyone thinks about that play. So I just had to include it. It's just too good of a play.
Yeah, absolutely. Marshawn Lynch, that run, I barely knew the guy beforehand. I knew of him, but his name was put on the map after that run, big time.
Right.
And that run's iconic for so many reasons. Like you said, them beating the Saints after going 7-9 and many people not even thinking they should be in the playoffs and making that run, them winning that game. It's crazy. Are you kidding me? Legend. And I think that was just the start of a legend in the making.
Yeah, I have to completely agree. This one barely didn't make my top 50 list.
Yeah.
But no, I loved it so much. Just I remember watching that in the big screen room as a kid, me and my dad, and going absolutely freaking crazy watching it. And
Yeah.
we have to talk about the fact that it caused a small earthquake in Seattle, with the seismic barometer.
Yeah.
There. But yeah, I mean, just a crazy moment, a moment that will always be in Seattle history.
Absolutely. Kate, I see you also got Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather on here.
Sure.
What about that fight did you like?
Man, I don't know if you guys remember it, but I remember exactly, where I was when this fight happened.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
and about 40
Big
of
deal,
our
man.
football friends got
He's wearing a
together.
fucking tracksuit.
Yep. And you get the UFC world, you get the boxing world together, and McGregor put up a great fight. Probably did a lot better than many people thought he would have done. He was aggressive. He was the best in his sport at the time. Floyd was the best at his, and it was just two powerhouses clashing, and it was a fun night. And I don't think we've really seen much in either UFC or boxing event really be this big since then.
Yeah. No, I mean it was huge moment. You had the two faces, in my opinion, of their sports at that time. Conor McGregor, the face of UFC and MMA at the time, and the face of boxing at the time, Floyd Mayweather, probably the most known name at that time. Maybe Manny Pacquiao competed, but those two, it was huge, and it was promoted super big, and the amount of money made in that fight is ridiculous. I don't even want to know. It's crazy. But dubs for Floyd Mayweather, man. I mean, he really got the good stick of that deal.
Yeah. I mean, just like Kaden said, I remember I was on a bus coming back from a football game, and
Ooh.
all the football players, we were watching it on our phones. We all huddled around the guys that had it on their phones, and yeah, I mean, definitely a crazy moment. One
sure.
of yours on my list I'm going to talk about later. It's a little higher on my list, but you'll see it, Kaden, and everybody else.
Yep. All right. Let's go to my list. Here we go with number 50. This one's funny. I just had to include it because I think about it all the time. Allen Iverson's practice speech. We talking about practice? I mean, practice, man. Yeah, I had to include that on here. I just think it's a hilarious moment. Just very funny. I had to include that. 49, I got Chicago Cubs break the curse. 48, I've got anything is possible. 47, I got Phil Mickelson 13th shot at the Masters. If you haven't seen this shot, I didn't include it. You got to go watch it right now because it's incredible. 46, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. 45, the Red Sox break the curse. 44, Eric Berry returns from cancer. 43, D Rose 50-point game on the T-Wolves. Like when he was on the T-Wolves, not on the T-Wolves. And then 42, Loyola Chicago's deep run into March Madness. And 41, Wazoo college game day victory over Oregon. Going to my moment I'm going to show. We've got Conor McGregor action. Are you ready for this, guys?
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Moment. I want to be a little different, bring out some UFC because it was an interesting fight. I think it's one of the goriest fight I have seen, and it was a huge fight. Conor McGregor at the time was, I mean, he was looking unbeatable at certain moments. Like he was just out there and pounding on people. So, I had to include Conor on this list. I think his legacy. We want to talk about legacies. Everyone watches the Conor McGregor fight. You know, if you're even somewhat into UFC or MMA at all, you see Conor McGregor, he brings in an audience, and this was another one that didn't disappoint. It was fun to watch. Diaz gassed him, and it was bloody, it was gory, and I don't know, it was fun to see Diaz, who wasn't expected to win. So
Yeah, I completely agree. This is a large fight for Diaz especially, but also Conor. I mean, and now they're talking about having a trilogy just because the two were so good,
yeah,
and
that was the
you
first
know that
one.
both these guys are going to put on a fight. So,
Yep.
This was going to be entertaining.
No. The best part about this fight to me, I think, was all the smack talk before too, because it was huge lead up going into this. This underdog and Nate Diaz saying he's going to come out and smack the champ, and then he delivered and he kind of showed a blueprint on how to beat McGregor, kind of tire him out, how length, if you can get him on the ground, can beat him. And it just shocked, the UFC MMA world when this upset happened.
And Diaz is just such a tough dude, man. Like that's just like he just hangs in there. Like I mean, he's been known for that. He just does it. He has such a tough nose and made of steel. Probably doesn't have any brain cells left, but it's all good. He's a tough fighter, so fun to watch. All right, Dodge, back to your list. We've got 40 through 31. Let's pull it up. What do you got for us?
All right, with 40, we've got Super Bowl 55 and Tom Brady winning his last, the GOAT. You have to put him in there. At 39, we got MLB in 2013, the Mitchell Report, where it came out about steroid usage in the 90s. And at 38, you got College Football 2006. Nick Saban goes to Bama, creates a dynasty that is possibly going to outlive him. I mean, we'll see what happens with DeBoer, but he's really made Bama into a program. This isn't the one I was going to talk about, but he's made Bama into a program that's going to be lasting and, is a revert back to its history. At 37, we have Tom Brady replacing the injured Drew Bledsoe. Of course, this is how the GOAT begins. 36, Super Bowl 46, Eli Manning to Manningham. I thought this was kind of a funny one out there too. But also the last drive to win that Super Bowl, great pass, great catch. At 35, we got Super Bowl 40 and the controversial calls. You guys remember that? Seahawks versus Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
at 34, we got the Formula One 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is the one I'm going to talk about. 33, NBA 2019. It's Dame time. Buzzer beater over OKC. That's a memorable. And 32, we got Super Bowl 44 halftime onside kick by the Saints. And that would kind of spur them into winning that. At 31, we got World Series 2014 Mad Bum MVP with an outstanding and under talked about pitching performance in that World Series. So,
Okay. Let's go to your clip. Big F1 guy here.
oh yeah, you got to expand the horizons.
I need to make less buttons to hit. All right, here we go.
All right, so that's the Formula One moment that I've chosen, and it's interesting why this is on this list, because when we think about greatest, we tend to think of positive, but this is controversial. This is actually one of the most controversial things in Formula One, and I remember watching it and just being like, "What happened?" It was 5 a.m. here, and I picked up Owen and we watched it together. But and it was snowing outside. But anyway, just kind of crazy. If I can go into detail here, so Hamilton and Verstappen were tied on points going into this last race of the season. So whoever finished ahead was going to win, right?
Yep.
And for 99% of the race, it looked like Hamilton was going to win his 8th world championship because he had the faster car. He was looking better this entire race. And it wasn't even competitive, really. Red Bull tried some things, but it wasn't close. And then Latifi, a back marker, he was in he was like 18, 19, 20th. He wasn't even competing for points. He crashes. And when he crashed, Hamilton decided to stay out on his old hard tires. And Max Verstappen pitted for new soft tires. Soft tires being the fastest tire, hard the old. Obviously, you want new tires.
Yep.
So, and then it seemed like once they got the crash cleaned up, that they were going to run out of laps during the safety car, and that the championship would just end under the safety car. But then they decided to have the lapped cars unlap themselves, which is normal for safety cars. But in this case, they only had the lapped cars that were in between Hamilton and Verstappen go. Lap cars behind Verstappen were not allowed to pass, which that is the problem here that we get to, why were only the cars in between the top two allowed to pass each other? And then, like you saw in the clip, you had Verstappen, who had this huge tire advantage going into the very last lap, and he took it because that tire advantage is unbeatable. And obviously, Verstappen's a very good driver, and he's dominated F1 ever since then. So,
maybe he just needed the moment.
Yeah, and Red Bull's had a very dominant car since then as well. So it's very controversial. People talk about whether Lewis Hamilton deserves to be an 8-time world champion, which would be the most world championships of any F1 driver ever. He's tied still with 7. Hey, Matt. And
I'm gonna be highlighting some comments here.
This is Max's first.
So shout out to everyone here. Appreciate y'all. Remember to comment if you haven't already. Be entered into that giveaway. So let's move on. Kaden, you got any comments on the F1 race?
not a really big F1 guy, but this might open my eyes a little bit. We love controversy. That was an exciting little call, little audio tune in there from the coach or whoever that was. Pretty good. So, start paying attention to F1. It's taken over. That's all I know.
People give announcers a lot of slack, but I think about how much the announcer's cadence when a moment is good plays into it. Like, there's so many of these where I remember the announcer screaming, where it just makes it that much more special. So shout out to announcers. Kaden, let's go to your 40 through 31. Here we go.
All right. At number 40, I got Dirk getting his ring, beating the Heat 2011, willing that Mavericks team to victory. At 39, I got Clemson upsetting Alabama in the Natty. The guy we don't like to talk about very much throws a touchdown last second, kind of upsetting Bama for the first time in a while. 38, I got Texas Tech walk-off touchdown last second, little corner route on Texas, horns down. And then 37, I got Clay's 37-point quarter. I think he took less than 10 dribbles in that quarter to get those points, just automatic. 36,
Absolute
I got the Cubs breaking their curse and winning the World Series in 2016. 35, I got Vince Carter, It's Over 2000 dunk contest. 34, I got Loyola Chicago 11 seed Final Four run. 33, I got the Rams versus the Chiefs, thriller of a game, same weekend as that LSU A&M game as well. Just absolute crazy weekend for football. 32, I got Allen Iverson walking over Tyronn Lue. And then 31, I got the Linsanity run, 38 points versus the Lakers. Crazy moment in NBA history.
All right, Cade. Do you know what time it is?
Sir, it's over.
It's over, baby. It's over.
Weights in the weight room, so he's stitched up in the left hand doing all this. Oh, it's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
He's saying it to everyone.
The judges are coming over the table to congratulate Vince Carter. This is unheard of. Oh my goodness gracious! It is over. Hey, Tracy McGrady, he doesn't even know what to do. He's walking away. He plays with this guy every day.
Watch it one more time.
Another look. Oh. Hey, Danny. Hey, Kenny, he's got 3 of your top 5 all time already. But what he told me before the contest, he said he watched all of these dunk contests.
All right, Cade. Tell us about it.
God, just, insane from the crowd reaction to the call. That's something you really didn't see people dunking like that early 2000s. Yeah, exactly. Dunk contest ain't what it used to be. Back then, everyone was tuned in. He shut it down on that dunk. It's over. And when you think about Vince Carter, as great of an NBA player as he was, I think everyone kind of thinks of his legacy in these early dunk contests in the 2000s. And it's just an iconic moment. And everyone wanted to dunk like Vince once they saw that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this dunk contest was, I think, eye-opening. Like, obviously, there's some special ones. I think of Dominique Wilkins from the free throw line and his stuff. I think of Michael Jordan from the free throw line, Dr. J from the free throw line. I mean, there's been so many iconic dunk contests, but like this one, you'll still see clips of it all the time. So I definitely think it's iconic. I think it adds to Vince Carter's legacy. I mean, the man played for 47,000 years in the NBA, but before that, he was a great dunker, always was. So.
Yeah, I mean, this moment was just iconic. There's nothing else to say about it. I mean, I would say it's one of the few dunk contests that can come to memory, because often dunk contests are not like special, but when you get one that is special, it's super fun to watch.
Absolutely. Anything more on that or his 40 through 31?
What's interesting is that I've both seen you guys have the Cubs break the curse already out there, and I had that much higher. So
I wasn't a Cubs fan though, for me, so it wasn't too special for me. But we will go to my 40 through 31. Here we go. At 40, I got TJ Warren, bubble game, 53 points. 39, 13-second comeback by Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs at 38. Blackout kick return by Jacoby Jones. What a game by that guy. 37, I got Gordon Hayward almost makes a buzzer from half court. And Butler's back-to-back runs in the March Madness. I got 36, Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine dunk contest. 35, we got the Hail Murray. At 34, we got Felix perfect game. At 33, we got Gable Steveson win gold medal at the age of 21 years old. Still in college at the heavyweight, not just a little weight, but at heavyweight. 32, I got Vince Carter dunk contest. At 31, I got Kobe coming back to make his free throw after he tore his Achilles. And now, going to the clip I want to show y'all. Let's bring it to Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Tried to connect from in his career.
Look at that man, defeated.
Chris Jones
Thought he just lost. Thought he just gave up the game.
That defense got beaten up like that. So this is here's Hill. They're going to have a chance in the game last year to win it. Now they need about
8 seconds
yards to have one of
on the
those
other side of the field.
Hail Mary kicks. Got to throw it right away, right now to someone in the middle. Down the middle. Oh my goodness! It's going to be a 48-yard attempt. Only 48 yards. That's what it'll be. Just when Kelsey moved.
Why has no one ever guard this man? Ever?
How do you not guard the seam? How do you not guard the seam?
Harrison Butker. I'm so nervous. So hundreds of thousands around the planet. The kick
Made it.
is good.
But that's not it. Let's go to overtime.
It's going overtime. Whatever quarterback has the ball last will win. Well, guess what? On first down. This time, sidearm. Hill backs up, got away. Hyde. From the pocket, wide open. Hardman. We've seen this already. As he takes off and goes.
It gets worse. He's not the only one.
Has hit his last 8. Looking to the end zone for the win. He caught it. Ball game. Chiefs to the championship game.
All right. So you're probably wondering why, as a Broncos fan, I chose the Chiefs moment. For starters, well, I think this moment quite literally changed the rules of football. The coin flip in the playoff is now changed because of this game. 13 seconds left. How many NFL drives have you seen come back and win the game while they're down by 3 with 13 seconds? I think it's iconic for Patrick Mahomes' legacy. I think it's iconic for Travis Kelce's legacy. I just think it was electric and a moment I'll never forget because I thought the game was over and so many people did. So I think it had to be on this list. I think I'm the only one that actually had it. I could be wrong on that, but I guess we'll find out. So
all I can say, there is the Bills get a little shot at redemption though this weekend.
They do.
You know, they're going to be dialed
timing.
in. They're going to be turned up for that game. You know, show that they should have got a chance in overtime. Show that they should win, advance their first championship in a while.
Or will it be
or
no, this moment will live in Chiefs history, will live in Patrick Mahomes history and Travis Kelce history, maybe even Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
maybe even Andy Reid.
Maybe even Andy Reid. So a lot of historic players on that team, and obviously the coach. Yeah, it's a moment I'll always remember where I was too. I wasn't even watching because I thought that's game.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like,
It was
they let
ridiculous.
2 seam passes up the middle. What?
I just like it's such a defensive lapse, like for starters, but it's also like
They're so scared. They're so scared.
yeah, it's they're playing not
The
to
deep ball.
lose for sure. So all
Yeah.
right, let's move on to Dodges 30-21. All right, read it off, Dodge.
All right. So at 30, we got Super Bowl 39 and Terrell Owens' performance coming off of a broken leg. Super Bowl or 29, we got Super Bowl 41 with the kick return touchdown by Devin Hester to open up the game. At 28, we got NBA 2019, Kawhi sending Toronto to the finals over the Sixers in the buzzer beater. At 27, we got finals 2013, game 6, Ray Allen 3-pointer to take the lead and win and into game 7. Then at 26, we got college basketball 2008 championship with Chalmers 3 to OT. I'm sure Kaden loves that.
Yeah,
Shout out
beautiful.
Kansas. 25 college football 2013 Auburn's kick 6 to beat Bama, their rival. At 24, we got college football 2007 Fiesta Bowl Boise State trick plays. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Shout out my former coach, Gerard Rabb, who got the lateral to score that touchdown. Just an interesting note. 23, we got MLB 2003 ALCS with the Boone walk-off. 22, we got the World Series game 6. 2011, David Freese comeback where he essentially put the team on his shoulders, led the Cardinals back. 21, World Series 2004, Red Sox break Babe Ruth curse. So you can see I have this a little higher than you guys. And I haven't even talked about the Cubs one yet. So
there are 2 or 3 in here that we have much higher. I would just like you to know. So this.
Oh yeah, you guys do?
Yep.
Oh yeah, like way higher. So
Boise State, I imagine.
You'll see. I don't want to give it away, but
All right. We haven't looked at ours.
Let's go to Red Sox breaks the curse. Let's watch the moment. Look at those eyes. Eyes of a tiger.
Steel. Comebacker. Flip. Boom. Look at that love. Look at that brotherly love right there.
Is that Hanley Ramirez?
Yeah.
Man.
That's what I said.
Okay.
I'm playing. All right, let's go to why you picked this moment.
I chose this moment because, I mean, we have to talk about the Babe Ruth curse first, right? And I have noted on here, December 26, 1919, Boston sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees. And, of course, we all know Babe Ruth. He would become one of the greatest baseball players of all time, holding the home run record for a long time.
Shohei Ohtani before Shohei Ohtani.
Exactly. And they sold him for pennies on the dang dollar. I want you to know, Boston had won 15 World Series prior to this moment.
Yep.
And then it took them 86 years to come back to win. And I want you guys to know, during this run in the ALCS, they were down 3-0 against the Yankees, their rivals, right before. Then they come back. They sweep I believe it's the Cardinals, right? Yeah, they sweep the Cardinals, and they break the curse. this is just something I remember when I started watching TV, and I mean, this is kind of right when I started watching sports, and just hearing about Babe Ruth and 86 years. I can't imagine, but just something super cool, and it's something that will always be known in baseball history as the Babe Ruth curse. And then finally it's over with this Red Sox team that had so much talent on it. And of course they would come back and win a few years later, I believe 2007 or 8. So
yeah. Cade, I know you're a Red Sox fan. I'll let you go first.
Worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, potentially. Put it up there. I remember I was watching this game. I was 5 years old. I watched it with my grandpa. I remember the Yankees come back, and that's kind of like you said, Dodge, getting into baseball as a kid, was watching this run right here. This is what made me kind of fall in love with the Red Sox, this and then 08 with Big Papi. So it's just, iconic moments for baseball. If you think about not winning a title for 86 years, my Cowboys will be there soon enough, but it's a long time. It's good for the organization to get back on track. So it's an awesome moment.
Yeah. It was I'm not gonna lie to you, boys. I don't remember this at all. I was 3 years old, so that's you guys thing. But
you young
I don't remember shit. So good for you guys. I don't remember it. Probably why it's lower on my list. So let's go to Caden's 30 through 21.
All right, at 30, I got Jose Batista with the bat flip ALDS Game 5. Everyone remembers that one. Sent that thing to the moon. At 29, I got Derek Jeter walk-off in his final at-bat with the Yankees. At 28, I got Tiger wins the Masters in 2019, coming back from all those injuries. 27, I got Kawhi's Game 7 buzzer beater over the Sixers. At 26, I got the Odell catch that I have to watch every time the Cowboys play the Giants about 30 times. 25, I got Boise State's Statue of Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl, beat Oklahoma. 24, I got the Minneapolis Miracle. I don't know why it's the Saints that are always getting clipped on in the playoffs, but it's unfortunate for them. 23, I got Logo Lillard for the win, Dame time over Paul George. 22, I got my boy Mario Chalmers, NCAA buzzer beater.
Okay.
Kansas wins the 08 title, beats Memphis and Derrick Rose. And 21, I got Vince Young's national championship game walk-off touchdown for Texas over USC.
Hell yeah. Let's look at your clip. I have a feeling this might be the bat flips of all bat flips. You know what I'm saying? Let's watch it.
Oh yeah.
Wait for the replay. Look at that play.
You can only flirt with fire for so long. And it's going to burn.
Right here. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Electric. How can you not love that?
Oh, no.
I don't want to subscribe, but thank you. All right, Cade, break it down.
Rumor has it that bat's still in orbit somewhere. I think a lot of you guys remember this. Very controversial, kind of thought it maybe too disrespectful. I hated that controversy because it's a moment. It's the playoffs. Like win or go home. Emotions are there. Don't throw that pitch then if you don't want to get that bat flip on you. And I think also it's kind of revolutionized the way players bat flip now, because once he got away with that, every homer's, the celebration on the bat flips have elevated. It's just so iconic of a moment. Turned up for Toronto. They hadn't been there a while. It's just a crazy play.
Yeah, this bat flip is dirty, man. Like it's the bat flip mixed in with the crowd. I mean, the crowd is so loud in that. That's like overwhelming, and it's one of those moments where the crowd is so loud it feels like the camera is shaking. I don't know if the camera's actually shaking or if if it's just in your head because it's so loud, but it was electric. It's one of my favorite moments. It's on this list. You'll see it later, but yeah, I love it.
Whoa, even higher. Wow. Me being the baseball player too, I would have thought. Oh, Ken play baseball as well. But yeah, I remember this was so affected like every kid because suddenly I started throwing my bat 15, 25 feet in the air. And my dad was like, "What the hell are you doing with that bat that I paid hundreds of dollars for?" And I'm like, "It's a bat. It'll live, you know. I'm just throwing it on the turf." But no, I mean, I don't think it's disrespectful because it's the end of the game, right?
It was seventh
Seventh.
inning, I thought.
Was
Yeah.
seventh inning. Ooh, it might have been a little disrespectful,
Yeah.
but I respect it still because I mean it just was. It's legendary. Just the
Yeah.
stop, turn, throw the
Yep.
bat. I mean, just storybook. Love it.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna move into mine now. Here we go. For my 30 through 21, I've got at 30 James Harrison pick six. Breaking news, folks. James Harden is now on the Steelers. 29, CJ Anderson overtime run against the Patriots. Huge moment in Broncos history. 28, Bryce Harper 2-run homer in the NLCS to put the Phillies in the World Series. 27, I got Lynn's sanity. 26, I got Kobe's final game of 60 points. Iconic. But 25, I got Clay's 37-point, not game, but quarter. Screwed that one up. 24, I got OBJ catch. 23, I got the DeAndre Jordan poster. 22, I got Mario Manningham sideline catch. And at 21, I got the Jordan Alvarez walk-off.
Oh,
And the
boo.
moment I'm going to show,
Don't it dare be Jordan.
it's not Jordan. I wouldn't do that to a Mariners fan. Come on now.
I hate the Astros.
I got Lob City.
The lob. Let's go!
Oh,
It's still nasty.
On his head.
You murdered that man.
who's that guy's name?
Look at
DeAndre
Blake.
Jordan.
Look at the bench. Lamar
No, the
Odom.
other
Brandon
guy.
Knight
We
was
check
doing
if he's
dunk
alive.
With
Is he
almost
alive?
a sheepish grin on his face.
Oh,
See it again. This could be as good as anyone we saw from Blake. Absolutely. That's as good as anybody anywhere. And Brandon Knight thinking.
All right, so I picked this moment, but I honestly, as the moment, I also meant this, like, kind of era of the Clippers. Lob City Clippers were some of the most fun Clippers / NBA to watch. They brought in a whole atmosphere that I just loved. It. I was a Chris Paul fan before Lob City, and I was even more of one after. The way he was able to set up his boys, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I used to watch highlights, and I mean just watch highlights of these dunks all the time. I would get my mini hoop, try them out, you know. I couldn't even mimic them because they were so dirty. These boys were murdering people in the NBA. I'm surprised there wasn't more ERs coming to the stadiums. So, Dodge, Caden.
That era was, as you said, absolutely filthy. I can think of the Blake Griffin dunk where he doesn't even touch the rim and he teabags someone as he dunks.
I almost did that one.
Yep. But that DeAndre Jordan dunk is just such an athletic play for a big guy at that time too. To be able to elevate, catch it in the right hand, just throw it down is just so disrespectful. Brandon Knight probably retired after that game. I haven't heard anything or remember much of him, but
I remember
Brandon Knight, the one with LeBron James that got murdered too. I'm pretty sure he is.
Oh,
I don't know, but he was a decent NBA player.
He was decent, but that's just a little light. That's tough. That's tough.
You can't do nothing about it. No, I even like this dunk more than the Blake Griffin ones without him touching the rim because I actually think that it's more impressive that he touches the rim from that far out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, DeAndre Jordan's a big man, and we all know that. But no, this Lob City from the Clippers was someone I was some team that I was rooting for to get a championship that never did. So
And they fell apart too. They had a chance.
Yeah.
There was a year they were up 3-1 and just fell apart. So
I mean, I felt like they had chances for a couple years too. I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
like, they were capable. It just never worked out.
Yep. All
People
right.
forget how good Blake Griffin was too.
Mhm.
But
Blake
that's another
Griffin was
story.
really good for a while. So, all right, Dodge. Let's go to your list.
Are we doing 2 this one?
We are.
Okay. So for 20, I got Finals 2021 Game 6 Giannis performance. I got 19 Super Bowl 49 Malcolm Butler's interception. Like I said, not every great moment is positive. Of course, if you're from New England, you probably think this is really positive.
Or if
Not
you're
for me,
Seth
though.
O'Brien.
If you're Seth O'Brien. He's from Boston too, though.
Oh my God.
18 2010 finals. Ron Artest, now Meta World Peace, hits game-winning 3 again against my Celtics. So there's 2 in a row that are bad for me. 17 2011 finals. Dirk and the Mavs stopped the super team Heat. 16 Super Bowl 42, the David Tyree helmet catch. 15 tennis 2008 Nadal Federer Wimbledon final. That's supposed to be the greatest tennis match of all time. I remember watching that. 14 World Series Game 7 2016. I have Game 7 in there twice, but Cubs win. And of course, break the curse, as you can see. 13 Finals 2008. Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. 12 college football 2006 Rose Bowl Vince Young touchdown. And at number 11, Super Bowl 43 Santonio Holmes touchdown catch.
All right. Let's go to your first clip that you have chosen. Who dabbles in a little of Eli Manning highlights from time to time? Look at that man.
Look at this. Oh, my Lord. How'd that ball not touch the ground? That's what Bill Belichick's thinking right now in this moment.
Tom
Coughlin.
All right. Dodge, break it down. Let's hear the story time.
All right. So this is known as like one of the greatest plays in NFL history because it spurs the drive that ends the Patriots' perfect season. All right. So the Patriots are on a perfect season. They're 18-0, not accomplished since 1972.
Uh-oh.
Dodge,
We've
I think you cut out, buddy.
You still there?
You're
What up?
back. You're back. You did cut out, but you're back now.
All right. Where was I at?
You said something about perfect season 1982.
Oh, 72. Yeah, 72 Dolphins, the last team to do it. Patriots were 18-0 coming in this game. Looked like they were going to win. But, of course, this play is known as the David Tyree catch, right? But we have to talk about the Eli Manning.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Awareness,
Breaking
yep.
sacks and then just giving his man a chance with the throw. And, of course, he led the team down the drive and win that game. And of course, that catch, I mean, I wish we could even zoom in on it, but like it's just the ball's so close. I remember being at my parents' friend's house and just watching it, and everybody was kind of just partying because they figured the perfect Patriots are gonna win.
Yep.
But you can't
Didn't.
stop the Eli Manning, baby. Can't stop him.
Eli Manning clutches up when he sees Tom Brady walk in the stadium. No, it was a great moment. I also have it, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but it was a great moment in sports. So, Kaden, you have anything else to add?
Something about these slower quarterbacks that are just so hard to tackle in big moments. Think of him, Big Ben. It's just impossible to bring the ground. Puts it in a spot where only his receiver can make a play, and then the rest is history. There, just pins it on the helmet, leads to the Super Bowl win.
Absolutely. All right, Dodge. Let's go to your other moment within this one. We got vintage Vince Young. What do they do at USC? This?
I don't know. This is the one time I'm horns up. I don't like Texas though either.
Nope.
Fan of Nebraska fan.
All right, both of you had this on your list. I don't even think I had it on my list. So,
Oh wow. How do you not have this? So this is the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, right? And of course, USC is on their home turf. This is the national championship decider, right? With 1 and 2, and you got Vince Young taking it in 2006, and it's basically a walk-off touchdown, and just a crazy moment that will always live in college football history. So for me, it had to be on here.
Yep.
Love it. Kaden.
Yeah, I agree with Dodge, man. It's just too good not to include when you're thinking about the scope of college football. Two absolute powerhouses at the time, and the Texas gets down, and they don't do anything the first 3 plays on that last stand. Then 4th down, Vince Young has to make a play with his feet. Does, almost untouched, beats USC. It's just horns up for one time. The one time we go away with it.
Damn, y'all a bunch of Texas
Yep.
haters.
Yep.
Well, Nebraska fan can't like Texas all that much, but this is the last national championship that Texas has won.
Yep.
So, obviously, for as big of a brand as they are, this is a huge game for all Texas fans too. So,
Well, I don't think they were favored, correct? Like they weren't the favorites. USC had won a few years in a row, correct?
yeah, I would assume that USC was the favorite. I mean, I don't exactly know that, but
yeah. So, all right.
USC, I mean, had Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, Lendale White.
That's what I thought.
So
yeah.
They were stacked.
Yep.
Texas did have, of course, like Vince Young and Jamal Charles, but not no-namers themselves. But
all right, Cade, 20 through 11. Let's see it.
All right. At my number 20, I have Eric Berry returns to the field after beating cancer. Super heartfelt moment when he was returning. Arrowhead went nuts. 19, I got LeBron breaking the all-time scoring record. We got to watch that this last year. 18, I got Tracy McGrady's 13 points in 30 seconds. Crazy comeback. Will his team to victory. At 17, I got UMBC first 16 seed to upset a 1 in their absolute dismantling of Virginia. Kind of changed the landscape of college basketball. Number 16, I got 28-3 comeback. Matt Ryan chokes. Maybe their defense choked. Super Bowl 15, I got D. Gordon's home run after Fernandez, his teammate, passed away before. At 14, I got Kobe's 60-point final game. At 13, I got the LeBron block on Iguodala paired with the Kyrie 3 in Game 7 on the 3-1 comeback against the Warriors. At 12, I got Villanova's buzzer beater over North Carolina to win the national championship. And then at number 11, I got App State upsetting Michigan.
All right. Let's go to your first clip. Give me 1 sec. All right. Everyone, save your tears for tomorrow. It's going to be okay.
You can see the whole team's wearing Fernandez.
Sometimes it's bigger than sports, people.
Yeah.
Kaden?
I was about to say, this is absolutely why we love sports. You know, everyone comes around a moment like this. Teammate passes away. D. Gordon's super good friends with Jose Fernandez. He hasn't hit a home run, in forever. And third pitch in his first at bat sends one the furthest home run he's ever hit in his career. And you can just see the emotion as he's rounding the bases. Tears are flowing. Everyone's supporting. And it's just sometimes in like the sports world, things like this happen, and you just know it happens, for a reason. And when you think about emotions in sports, this is probably one of the top moments, and great for D. Gordon. Brought most fans probably to tears. It was amazing.
Definitely a heartfelt moment, and one I always remember. Like I said, it's bigger than sports. Super sad, his story of passing away, and it's cool how they celebrated him. Like you said, I think things do happen for a reason certain times, and I think that was one of them. And it's cool that they're all wearing, the number 16 while he did it too. First at bat, it's something you see in a movie, but it wasn't a movie. So, Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys said it. I have nothing else to add to that. It's just picture perfect made moment. So
Dodge got to grab his tissues. All right, let's go to Michigan and Appalachian State.
It'll be Jason Gingell out of the hold of Mesco. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is blocked. Appalachian State has stunned the college football world. One of the greatest upsets in sports history.
Ah! How do I stop sharing?
App State national champs? ? Just a crazy moment, especially when you think about, the difference between the FCS and the FBS level at that time. It's a lot, more, the talent's a lot closer nowadays. Back in the early 2000s, Michigan was ranked number 5, I believe, powerhouse, and App State comes in, shocks the world. No one blocks on the left side on that field goal formation. And, when you think about college football upsets, everyone knows this play. It's insane upset, probably the best of all time.
yeah, it's the second largest point spread ever to be an upset. So I definitely see that. Yeah, the only thing about it is that App State was not a bad team. Like obviously FCS, right? And that's the crazy thing about it is that they're a whole division under, beating the number 5 team in the nation.
Yeah.
But they did win like 3 national titles at FCS, so they maybe didn't even get the respect that they deserve. So this win mattered even more to them.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy that the game ended like that. So it's not even just an upset, but it's almost like in a way, it's almost like a buzzer beater dagger to end it. It's like a block shot. They're
Mhm.
trying to hit the buzzer with the field goal, but they get blocked field goal. Like, that's just brutal, like a total twist of the knife in your gut kind of feeling, you know? So, definitely a fun moment to watch. Going to my 20 through 11, I think I have probably the most different one. It's interesting. All right, 20, we got Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary. At 19, I got Spencer Lee gets upset last year. 18, I got Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode, which we've already watched. 17, we got Hines Ward, Toe Tap. 16, Big Poppy Grand Slam, had me
Yes,
wearing a
sir.
Big Poppy jersey in the house. 15, we got Tigers chip shot on 16. On number 14, we got Kawhi's buzzer beater to send them to I think it was the finals, yeah? And then we
Yeah.
got 13, Boise State's Fiesta Bowl, Statue of Liberty walk-off. 12, we got Jose Bautista bat flip. And 11, we got the LeBron James block in the finals, game 7. Let's go to my first clip because I know majority of people have not seen this clip. Spencer Lee getting upset.
You're waiting for this. I know you're waiting. Oh, wait, no, you got to play it. Oh, she destroyed those glasses. Oh. Okay.
All right. So this moment for those of you, what just happened? Spencer Lee. There has only been, I don't know the exact number. I probably should, but there's only been, I want to say 4 or 5 4-time NCAA wrestling champs of all time. Like in the history of NCAA wrestling, it's a very, very hard feat to do. You know, you're constantly getting new wrestlers. Sometimes you move up, down a weight. It's very, very hard thing to do. Spencer Lee, 3-time NCAA champ, dominated the season. I mean, dominated. Pinned, majored, tech, everyone. He was the favorite for the Hodge Trophy, which is like the Heisman for wrestling. One of the criteria for Hodge Trophy is scoring the most bonus points, which is either a major, a tech, or a pin. He did this almost like every match. And going into the semis, this kid, I want to say redshirt freshman or sophomore, I think it was a redshirt freshman, pins Spencer Lee in the semis, shocks the entire crowd, as you just saw. Mom crumples up the glasses, everything. Spencer Lee doesn't even wrestle again after this match. He just defaults out. So, I don't know if you guys have anything to comment, but
The energy of wrestling, you can just tell it's there, and that how passionate people are in the sport of wrestling. That was crazy. The pure emotion, the fan reaction, and especially for someone who's a 3-time defending national champion to get upset like that is just insane to me.
Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just like, Hunter, I have a question for you. How often do like upsets in wrestling happen, like comparative to March Madness basketball, right?
So at that tournament, it happens quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
What was crazy about this though, like I described, is how dominant, how far ahead of others he was. It was like, think of one of the best football teams or basketball teams you've ever watched, and them losing to the not Detroit Pistons. But it was like that level of gap. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just
Yeah.
the gap was so crazy.
Yeah, and I think the point that I guess I wanted to make, it was like in he's been so dominant over his time in college. It would be like if one college basketball team won the national championship 3 years in a row, was the
Yep.
best team. The team was all seniors and went into their fourth season and lost. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't had that. Like,
Yeah.
and
It's crazy.
that's why it's so momentous. So
Whether you're a
I
wrestling fan or not, I still think that's a crazy moment. So, going to my next one. As a little boy, I always was a Boise State fan. Give me that Statue of Liberty play.
Type of run pass option going to the right. Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And they go length to the court.
Okay. So, our next play, Boise State, Statue of Liberty. This team single-handedly put my flag football team into trick plays constantly. We wanted to do all the trick plays. We were doing everything. I mean, they made trick plays kind of cool at a big stage level. Boise State was a small school. They weren't expected to beat Oklahoma. They did, and they did it in incredible fashion. It made me become a Boise State fan. Obviously, I'm from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, so I love Boise State, down there. And it was dope moment. And what wasn't shown in that clip is that guy goes and proposes to his now, well, I hope they're still married, but he goes and proposes right after. Like, that's crazy on national television after he made that play, won the Fiesta Bowl. Huge moment for Boise State and kind of put him on the map for a little bit. Great coach.
put him on the
over
map
there.
forever.
So, yeah.
Probably one of the most fun bowl games of all time. Boise State had to pull out all the stops in order to win that game, because the drives before, to get it to overtime, they had to pull some crazy plays out. And it was just one of those teams that just played loose, just had fun, weren't expected to really win that game, and then you get an opportunity at the end, so might as well just do something that no one ever does and win in that fashion.
Yeah, my mom almost went to Boise State on a volleyball scholarship. She ended up going to Eastern, and of course, I'm a Nebraska fan, so I hate Oklahoma. So our household was rooting very much for Boise State, and this was classic David and Goliath moment here.
Yep.
And it's just it's such a cool moment. Like Kaden was saying, to that last drive, get him into overtime. They do the hook and ladder play, which scores the touchdown. And, I believe they go for 2 to tie it, right? And, it's a halfback pass to the tight end, which almost doesn't work, but ends up working out. And then this play right here, and you're right, they made trick plays like beyond cool. Everybody was doing trick plays. Everybody wanted to be Boise State, and this moment was awesome. I also had it in my list too. I think all of us did. So.
Yeah, great moment in sports. All right, if you are still on the stream and you haven't commented yet and you want to be a part of the giveaway, make sure to comment right now to be entered. All right, Dodge. From now on, we got banners. We got professional banners at number 10. College basketball 2016 Villanova Jenkins title buzzer beater. Let's watch it. But first, we got to watch both clips.
With NerveTech ODT, I can treat a migraine when it strikes and
Oh, yeah, I
prevent
love
migraine
that.
attacks all in one.
Let's first watch the Marcus Page shot.
It's Barry,
Okay.
who had the hot hand from 3 in the first half. They're going to have to do something from the outside now. It's Page off balance. Puts it out.
Crazy shot, right?
They go length of the court. With
This is what they do to respond.
3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. The national champions. With Jenkins hitting the winner at the buzzer. Jim, they're going to check it. I thought it was good live, but how about those onions? A counter.
How about those onions?
Is it good? Well, they're going to check the clock. If there's any.
The clock didn't matter. They made it. Dodge, break it down for us.
Yeah, so this is just an iconic moment in college basketball history, even though it's so recent. Because, I mean, hitting a buzzer beater in the national title game, right? And you can tell he's following he's following the dribbler the entire way down the court. You can see it coming. And boom, just knocks it down, especially after that great play by Page and that wonderful shot by him. Like, that made this shot even more of a moment because it just like says, this is Nova's championship. And of course, 2 great all-time coaches. We can't forget about that in this game. So, yeah.
Yeah. Cade, you had this in your list at like 12, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't it crack your 10?
Villanova beat Kansas that year in the Final Four, so
Ah.
it keeps them out a little bit. But no, it's a buzzer beater to win a national championship is insane, especially because the Marcus Page shot right before, he's off balance, kind of double pump, 1 foot shot, whatever he did, and you're like, wow, they're gonna win a national championship on a shot that most people would probably airball in that situation.
Yeah.
And they come down, screen, a little flip pass right in the shooter's pocket. And it's one of those shots that just looks like it's in the air for 5 or 6 seconds, and you just know it's pure. As soon as it leaves his hand, you're like, yep, game over. And North Carolina gets denied their championship. And for Villanova, it's one of their, I think their first, one of their very few. So big moment for them, big shot. Really put them on the map and kind of put them in a blue blood category for that last couple years.
Yeah. I won't talk too much about this because it is on the top 10, but it's a great shot. It's a great shot, man. All right. Kaden, your number 10, Santonio Holmes, toe tap. Let's watch it.
Roethlisberger has time, goes to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes. Unbelievable. Incredible.
Kurt Warner.
The official comes in. Let's just make sure he's in on a play like this. Obviously, they will take a long look upstairs. Then to the corner of the end zone. Does he get both feet down? Left, definitely. Did the right tap as well with control. You have to have control of both feet down.
All right, Kaden, before you start, there's some controversy with this catch still. There's some people that think that right foot wasn't technically down on the field, but on his own shoe.
That's what I was going to bring up too, because from some camera angles, it looks like it's on the back of his other foot, slightly off the ground.
What do you think, Kaden?
I think it's a catch, but I think it's just super close. But I do think he got that toe down. Some of the camera angles make it look like it is slightly off the ground. But what a throw by Roethlisberger. Triple coverage in the corner of the end zone to win a Super Bowl. And for me, it kind of hurts because I was going for Kurt Warner and the Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald, and to go out like that, it's definitely probably one of the toughest ways to lose in the championship game. But it's still an absolutely amazing catch to get his feet in bounds. Yeah, so it's got to be in my top 10 because of that.
Yeah, this is it's a tough one. This was a great Super Bowl though, like the back and forth, and there's a lot of iconic plays, and Larry, and you also had James Harrison pick 6, which was in my list. I mean, that was a fun play as well, and for them to come down and end it like this was just perfect. Great catch, like you said, and honestly, I remember toe tapping after this catch. Like, he made toe tapping cool before toe tapping was cool. So
Yeah. Obviously this one was in my list a little bit lower, but and I was rooting for Kurt Warner as well. I haven't the love for the Steelers has been low since that Super Bowl 40, but it started to come back a little bit, once I realized that all my childhood quarterbacks like Big Ben was retiring. I got sad and started liking the Steelers a little bit again. And of course they got Mike Tomlin. But anyway, yeah, this is a crazy play. Great game. One of the best games I've ever watched. And I agree. I think his foot was down. So
all right,
what about
foot
you,
was
Hunter?
down. You heard it here first, folks. Bold takes on the Logical Nonsense podcast. I don't think it was. All right, let's go to Dame 3 on the Thunder. Here we go.
Clock is off. Portland has a timeout. Lillard, a chance to send the Thunder home.
Stone cold.
Lillard,
Look at that.
long range 3, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
Paul George is livid. All right, so one of the reasons I love this play is not only did he decide to take what Paul George says is a awful shot, because it kind of was. I mean, he was pulling up from the logo and hits it right on his dome. Just waves goodbye. Dame time. Iconic. Probably Damian Lillard's most iconic moment. The Blazers then go and make their best run they ever had in the playoffs with Dame to the conference finals, and this kind of sparked it all. I think it was very unexpected at the time, and I loved it. Great moment.
I remember watching that game
Yeah.
and looking at Damian Lillard just calmly dribble the ball half court and like inside screaming, "What are you doing?" And then just a few side steps later and boom. I mean, what a dagger.
Yeah.
You can go, Kaden, but
Yeah.
wow.
So, quick little story. I was 8 years old, and Damian Lillard played for Weber State back then. And Weber State's a Big Sky team. So they were in Missoula, Montana for the Big Sky championship game. And my parents got me, pre-game tickets. And I met Damian Lillard when I was like 8 years old. And so, got to shake his hand before the game, got a picture with him, got to find that. But he goes out, they lose the Big Sky championship to my Grizz team. And I was just a Dame fan since then because he was putting up 40 that whole tournament. And so he hits the shot, sidestep over Paul George, his best moment. And I think Paul George was even getting defensive looks as defensive player of the year kind of that year. So it's just a very iconic moment that it's on Paul George too. Best shot for Lillard.
And Paul George was so much taller.
Yeah.
Paul George is a tall, long
mismatch,
basketball player.
Good defender too. Very underrated defender. So
yeah.
All right.
No, this is good.
Dodge. Tua. What a match. Made in heaven.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
I mean,
All right, Dodge.
this is such a great moment in college football history. Tua, a backup for the entire year, comes in, right, and just wins the national championship. Like,
Yeah.
you can't beat that. And then, like what he talked about right before that play, Tua gets sacked. Like when you can't take a sack, and
Yeah.
throws a dime piece to Devonta Smith. And I mean, just storybook moment. Obviously, Bama doesn't need more titles, but of course they add them on. So
Man,
Yeah.
that Bama team was loaded too. So you think about their quarterback room, the receivers, unreal, and for it to end that way after Jalen, lays a stinker in the first half, and they got to go with the backup, and then he comes
Right.
out and wins the game like that. Unreal.
Yeah. Jalen's really scared of his backup replacing him nowadays. Just kidding. No, but it was a really cool moment. I think for them to win in that fashion. Like all these moments, of course, we're getting to the nitty-gritty, some of the best, right? So it's like for them to win that way in overtime, crazy, adds to the legacy of Saban, Bama, and all those guys on that team, like you said, were stacked. I mean, that team was crazy, crazy good. So loves seeing that moment, even though I'm not a Bama fan. So let's go to Caden's number 9. Usain Bolt breaks 2 world records. Here we go. Let's watch it.
Safa Paul ist der schnellste aus den Blöcken. Jetzt kommt er und jetzt ist Usain Bolt nicht zu halten. Nein, er gewinnt. 9,58 Weltrekord. Ein Wahnsinn. Da denkst du dir, Peking ist zu toppen durch den Mann hier.
All right.
Man, anytime you can watch someone break a world record is just, it's one of the best moments ever. Everyone was tuned in to watch that run. It seemed like in the Olympics, back when people watched the Olympics more, it seemed like, and then it even looked like he slowed up at the end. Everyone's seen the iconic photo of him looking over when he's 2 head lengths ahead of everyone else. And so just for me, I just think Usain Bolt, anytime he can break a world record, become the world's fastest man, it's insane.
Yeah. No, it's a great moment. I think the crazy part about that is like how fast he was, and like everyone was like, Jesus, this man is like literally like an animal of his own. Like he's like not human. But Dodge.
Yeah, this one's in my list as well later, so I'll talk about it then more too. But just kind of broke out onto the scene and, just obliterated, if I remember, the world record at the time. So,
Okay. Let's go to my number 9. We're not going to show any clip because we've already talked about it, but the helmet catch, like we already talked about, Eli Manning's awareness, elusiveness, low-key athleticism, beautiful. And then the athletic catch, I don't think we ever heard about David Tyree again, but he'll always be known for this catch. So good for him. Great catch, and a moment we'll always remember in sports history. All right, Dodge. I'm playing this ad, and then something's coming for you. Here we go.
Game 7 of the World Series. Bases loaded. Floated. Center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
All right. Talk about it.
So, I mean, this is what every kid dreams about as a baseball player. We're in game 7, right? I mean, this is it. And he just hits a walk-off. I mean, yeah, it's a blooper. Who gives a shit, right? Like, doesn't matter. A walk-off to win the World Series has got to be in the top 10. And that's why it's on my list. And as much as this broke the hearts of every New York fan, which we'll get to later about what happened in 2001 and the fact that the Yankees made the World Series, this is just such a classic moment that it deserves to be remembered forever. So
Definitely. Cade.
Gets jammed. Hits it off one of the best all-time closers. I mean, just
anytime you can beat the Yankees, it's got to be a top 10 moment for me, because, but no, like you said, this is what everyone dreams about. You know, so much pressure all in one moment. I'm sure the adrenaline was just absolutely pumping. And then as soon as you see it clear over that shortstop's head, oh, the floodgates open of emotion. It's an awesome moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry, go ahead.
It's interesting, like, because like this is a cool moment, but it also kind of sucks because like we kind of want New York to win after 2001, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like this meant a whole lot to New York. Not saying that didn't mean anything to Zona, but you know, sometimes the moment even breaks bigger with this walk-off hit. I mean, a walk-off in the World Series Game 7 is literally it's what you practice on in the batting cages for fun. You know, like you're with your boys and you're like, it's Game 7, 3-2 count, bases are loaded, 2 outs, right? And you swing. And he's hitting it off of Mariano Rivera, and one of the best all-time closers ever in the Hall of Fame, obviously. And so
all right, Kaden. Michael Phelps, 8 medals. Oh, I forgot I have to play the clip. I was like, why aren't you talking about it, bro? Come on now. All right, here we go.
Michael Phelps looking for Olympic history.
Nobody can match the speed and the endurance that Michael Phelps has.
New world record and gold medal number 1 of these Beijing Games.
I don't know if he's going to catch him. He gets it done again. He did it. Oh, he did it. He gets it done again.
He's going to tie the greatest Olympic champions of all time and do it in world record fashion. History in Beijing for Michael Phelps. 8 for 8.
All right.
Oh, man.
Talk about it.
When you think about, people that are absolute dominating their sport, everyone was tuned in for that final swim to see if he could get all 8. And when you think about it in like swimming, it's 8 different types of events, a couple, team, a couple individual, but to be able to win gold in every single event, you're not going against the same people every time. You're literally beating the best world athletes every time. And a lot of those guys only trained one specific race, and to go out and win 8 different races and set world records while doing it is just, it's unbelievable. It'll never happen again. He's the most decorated Olympian of all time, medal count wise. And it's just is unbelievable for him to go out and do that.
We talk a lot about goats.
This is
Nope,
a
the
goat.
goat. Dodge.
Sorry, did you
You
want
have
to go
anything to
on?
say?
On it?
No, that's it.
Oh, yeah. This is also on my list, just a little bit higher up. And yeah, I mean, just everyone remembers these 2008 Olympics because you had Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, just absolutely dominating. And like Kaden said, Phelps is winning 8. I mean, seriously, he's the swimming goat of all time. So nuts.
Nuts. You know what's also nuts? Dodge. Do you know what also is nuts?
What?
Not running the ball on the 1 yard line.
Oh no! You bastard! You bastard! Oh, screw you!
Here we go.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play.
Dodge, care to comment? No, I'm just kidding. No, this was one of the most unreal moments, like surreal. I just remember thinking Seattle's gonna win this freaking game. God damn it, they're gonna win back to back after they embarrass the fuck out of my Broncos. Then they're gonna win this game too after making a crazy drive. Are you kidding me? But no. What they do is they throw it on the 1 or 2 yard line right to Malcolm Butler's hands, and that called game. Iconic, surreal at the time. I really, really, really did not like the Seahawks, so I was happy as hell. Hell yeah. Seth O'Brien likes it. All right. Here we go. Kaden, what do you think?
Well, this is on my list somewhere else as well, so I'll talk about it a little bit more when we get there. What do you think about Super Bowl moments? This is up there.
Oh my gosh.
We're fighting. I'm gonna fight both of you.
At least your teams can make a Super Bowl while you're alive.
Oh, damn. Brutal. All right. Dodge, you got anything left to comment?
There's only a few games you watch in a man's life, and you legitimately like cry afterwards. And this was one of them for me. I was depressed for like hours, the rest of the day, the next day, the whole week. Oh, it was so bad. I remember watching Jermaine Kearse getting that catch.
Yeah.
And on that drive right before. And I mean, just the insanity of that catch. I was like, it's fate. It's meant to be. There ain't no doubt in my mind. That catch is what clocked me. Because previous to that, I was like, we might lose this game. We might, right?
Yeah.
And then the Jermaine Kearse catch happened. And not only does it set us up in a position where, like, oh, yeah, you should win the game. But, like, just the craziness of that catch put it in my mind that, like, this was meant to be.
Yeah.
This was fate.
Yep.
And then have it ripped from you. Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Well, let's talk a little bit more positive, okay? We just watched this. Would you like anything more to comment about your 2008 Usain Bolt at number 7?
Yeah, I mean the 200-meter world record too. Sorry, I'm lost for words now. But
still shooketh. It's brought back drama for him.
This is a decade ago, and it pisses me off to this day. Yeah, I mean, Usain Bolt shocked the world, basically. Just like came onto the scene, and it's an unforgettable Olympics. It makes him a star in track. in field. And, of course, he would go on to dominate track and field for the next decade. So,
yeah. All right. Here we go. Philly special at number 7.
ooh.
Just give me a sec.
And they're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
There you go, Seth. Watch that.
Yeah.
Watch that, Seth.
Big
right.
Dick Nick leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl. We just saw Tom Brady get gifted a ring. We get to see him get one taken away. It was just a crazy play call at the right time. And for once, it felt like the Patriots, weren't getting lucky in a long time. And for the Eagles, their first Super Bowl win with the backup quarterback, the story writes itself. And iconic play, and everyone duplicates this play now, and it will always be known as the Philly special.
Yeah, and I think
Brian.
actually the Patriots tried to replicate this
Yep.
play, but
Yep.
old Tom Brady is unable.
Not have the athleticism of Nick
Didn't trip, he
Foles.
would have caught it.
We remember him on the Bucks. Not a good moment for Tom. Anything else on this play? No? All right. Going to mine. Jalen Suggs, half court. Overtime 3. Oop. Here we go.
Zhang again with the ball in his hands in the paint. Floater, short, got it back, ties it with 3. Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Unbelievable!
What a moment, man. Holy crap. The Zags, people didn't think that, they were the legit deal. They were going to overtime. This game was crazy in general, just as a March Madness game. And then they beat UCLA in overtime on a half-court buzzer. Obviously, they lose the next game, but just one of those moments where I'm sitting there and I'm like, no way that just happened. And this was during COVID, so, I think we were even more bored. And for a game like this, we were gnawing on our nails, and it was a great game.
We got absolutely robbed out of a live crowd reaction to that moment, which is
absolutely.
brutal. Place would have went ballistic. And yeah, unbelievable shot, half court for the win. Too bad Gonzaga could never, win that natty. They were close a couple times, but Jalen Suggs, special player, special moment at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I remember watching this with my parents and, just thinking, why does the game have to be this close? Almost having a heart attack basically during COVID. And, this moment will live down in the great historical moments in March Madness history. There's just so many to choose from March Madness that, it gets difficult. But, yeah, this deserves to be up there.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to number 6 for Dodge. 145-game win streak by the college women's UConn team.
Yeah, so mine is, the largest win streak, I think, maybe of any sports in history. I mean, if you guys remember this run,
let me show the clip real quick. I got them getting to 100.
And UConn has one up UCLA. 89 consecutive wins, more than anyone in college basketball Division I history.
So that was them breaking the original record of 89. They got up to 145. So,
I mean, this is just a crazy run when you think about it. It's seasons on seasons on seasons, right? And that's why it deserves to be up there. This is excellent dominance of a sport for just years on end without breaking once, without like a weird loss, you know. And I remember, you know, every one of us was watching Sports Center when we were younger, and every game they would update us like, oh, UConn women's basketball won again, and the ticker just clicked another one, right?
Yeah.
So obviously this win streak deserves to be known.
Yeah. No, they're one of the most dominant teams in any sport. And so it is definitely cool that they were able to achieve that of the best women's basketball program, and I immediately go to UConn. You know, they are in many ways the Alabamas of equivalent. So, Kaden?
Tennessee might disagree with you, but yeah, UConn is.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, to be able to play 145 games in a row and to win everyone, especially in basketball, I don't care like what level you're at. Basketball is one of those sports where a team can get hot at any moment and you can have a bad shooting night. So to be able to put it together consistently for 145 games, including tournaments, national champions, is just unbelievable. To be able to recruit at that level, you know, the head coach, probably one of the greatest basketball minds of all time during that run. So it is unbelievable streak and probably something we won't ever see again.
Yeah.
No way.
All right, Dodge. I know you're tired of this moment, but let's talk about it some more. Seattle
we run
not
the clip
running
on
it.
this one. I don't know if you've seen the clip.
No, we have not watched the clip of other ones.
Oh my gosh. And no, but for this play real fast for me, it's just one of those where you like just think the Seattle's just going to win this game. They're going to deny Tom Brady a ring. And I don't even think I mind them passing the ball that much. It's just you can't throw that route. If you want to do something to the outside where only your guy can make a play, that's fine. Just do it once. But then you have beast mode in the backfield. And it's just a player on defense making a play, a little throw pass is thrown a little inside. All right, I'm gonna stop talking so Seth stops commenting and Dodge is paying. But just one of the craziest moments in the Super Bowl era.
All right, here we go. I've already talked about this game. I won't torture Dodge too much more. But for my number 6, I got the Kyrie 3 on Steph. Let's watch it.
Yeah, and it helps
come up on a minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. Fourth quarter.
All right, so I love that shot. I don't think it's talked about enough. Everyone always talks about that block by LeBron, and it's on my list. It's a chase down. It's great play. It saves the game. But this play to go one-on-one on Steph Curry, I'm not saying Steph Curry is like this huge, great defender, right? But for him to go on, I want to say, did he not win MVP that year? For him to go one-on-one with the MVP of the league, step back, hit it in his face, basically win the game for them after being down 3-1. Absolutely insane. One of the best shots in the finals. Anybody?
Definitely. I mean, I would say that it does get talked up enough just because I think everyone regards this as one of the greatest moments. Obviously, the block gets more coverage.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyrie's a generational player, so I agree with you on that.
Yep. Kyrie saves LeBron's legacy? Question mark. Gives him a touch. No, I'm just playing. But I'm just playing.
Bold take.
This, I don't know. The shot was just a little sidestep, just beautiful. You know, you're thinking they're down 3-1. The Warriors had won 73 games that year. You thought the series was absolutely over. No way. The Cavs come back and they win one game, and you're like, okay. maybe a little momentum. Then they get it to 7, and it's like anything can happen. And it's just probably one of the craziest Game 7s in NBA Finals history. And for it to end on the block and then followed up by Kyrie hitting the clutch dagger over Steph is just, it's perfect for that comeback to end that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Dodge. Super Bowl 51, Patriots 28-3 comeback.
Yeah, this. Oh, sorry, I forgot your blanket.
Toss to White.
To win it. All right, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be one of the greatest moments in sports history because coming back 28-3, I'm pretty sure the TV ratings of that game is like terrible comparative to other Super Bowls because I turned it off. Seth turned it off. In fact, I remember calling Seth on the road and be like, "Are you watching this? They're coming back." And he's like, "Yeah, I turned it off, but I've been seeing it. That I don't want to turn it back on to jinx it, you know." And no, this is a moment where you remember where you're at. You remember the greatness of Tom Brady, and I mean, like even the Patriots defense holding the Falcons, just after halftime was crazy because I think that's the year Matty Ice, right? He won the MVP that season, I believe. So, yeah, this is a moment that'll live in history.
Greatest Super Bowl ever, Seth O'Brien says. I don't know about that. What's interesting about this is I look at Matt Ryan and I look at Tom Brady. How do you look at these two quarterbacks after if Matt Ryan does win this game?
I think Tom Brady's
if Tom Brady, no, I know, but if Tom Brady doesn't get this comeback, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not saying that he's not. You don't think he's the GOAT? No. That's not what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth, sir. I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying you definitely look at him differently, right? You had more respect for him after them comeback, yes or no?
Well, this is one of the greatest moments of all time, so I'll say that. But it doesn't change how I feel about Tom Brady if he didn't do it.
I think it does slightly. I don't think we know.
I think it changes how I feel about Matty Ice more.
True. I agree with that. But I definitely think this comeback solidified that Tom Brady was the GOAT. Like, there was conversation. There was a lot less
about
conversation.
Yeah.
Kaden?
I agree.
I want to say Matty Ice got a lot of hate for this game, but it was kind of the weapons around him that let him down a little bit more. That defense collapsed. And I remember at the end of the game, the Falcons needed a first down. And they could have ran out the clock. I'm pretty sure they had a drop. They got stuff short or something. But so they're, when they needed to make plays, they couldn't do it. And then you put the ball in someone who's done this in many Super Bowls, leading a drive to win the Super Bowl, gets them to overtime, gets them down in overtime, and they win the game. And craziest comeback of all time in the Super Bowl era. Just unreal game. Tom Brady, probably one of the only quarterbacks that could have got that done.
Absolutely. All right. Kaden, another Tom Brady Super Bowl. Seth, if you're still there, let's talk about it a lot on this one. And
exactly.
Helmet catch. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast. We all three got it. What put it at 5 for you?
Me, it's just the circumstances. 18-0 Patriots team that everyone says is going to dominate the whole season, their whole way through. And, the Giants held them to 14 points. And they have a chance to win this game. And when you give a team, an underdog like that, a chance to win, things happen. And Manning breaks 4 tackles, escapes the sack, throws it. Tyree just pins it on the helmet, somehow athletic enough to keep it off the ground, and is just an unbelievable play. So it has to be in my top 5 because of that.
Yeah. Yep. I think we've talked about this enough. So let's go to my number 5, Stephon Diggs, Minneapolis Miracle. Steph said he's calling in the in the SWAT for this play is what he said.
Kaden steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
All right. Talk about bat flips. Let's talk about a helmet flip, eh? So, no, I love this moment. I think it's great. One of the best Viking moments ever, right? Like, Case Keenum leads the Vikings to the conference championship game, I believe, after this. And, like, poor Saints are put into so many bad moments. But, like, I think it's electric. Another one of those things where I remember where I was just, like, standing, drooling over the TV, like, what the hell just happened? Did Case Keenum just do that? So, helmet set into orbit, right? All right, anything else on this?
Just for the Saints, as a defender, you're told to keep them in front of you, especially in a situation like this, and to take a gamble to try to make that play and to get jumped over is Stephon Diggs, though, is unreal athletic play right there, and walks it off for the Vikings.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just powerful moment, especially for Minneapolis.
All right, here we go. Cavs 3-1 comeback. Dodge. Talk about it.
All right, so we've done this one a lot too. Obviously, now we're getting to the numbers that are. That's a pretty good comment, Andrew. Obviously, we're getting down to the numbers where everyone's gonna have this on all of our lists, but it never happened before, and against a 73-win team, you didn't think it was gonna happen. So many crazy moments came from this 3-1 comeback.
Yep.
That's why it's in my top 4.
Yep. Anything else on this 3-1 comeback?
Nope.
Cade. Got the 81-point game.
81, yeah.
I meant to fix this. I didn't. But it is 81 points. I'll show you the last points he gets. Here we go.
An 81-point game. 55 in the second half. Ladies and
55 in the
have
second
witnessed
half.
The second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
R.I.P. to the Mamba. Kaden, talk about it.
R.I.P. legend. Man, it was a fun game to watch, especially when you think about people getting close to that 100 mark. And this is the closest we've ever gotten to Wilt's record. And it was a close game throughout. And Kobe just went into that Mamba mode. And every time he touched the ball, you knew something special was going to happen. He was pulling up from deep, dunking on people's heads. Just an absolute iconic moment for one of the legends of basketball. Closest we'll ever get to 100 probably in a long time, too.
Yep. I like it. It was a great game. Like, it's just, like, crazy that somebody like Kobe can put up 81, right? Like, no one, I don't know, like, back when Wilt did it, I'm not going to say, like, it was easier or harder. Like, 100 points is still freaking crazy, right? But the level of talent nowadays, it's just unmatched. And for him to put up 81 points is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how dominant Kobe was on the offensive side of the court during that time of his career, where he, if he was on his night, he was unstoppable. There's nothing you could do. And yeah, this is one of the greatest individual performances in sports in a single game. So
Love it. All right. And then my number 4 is the Villanova buzzer. I think I had the highest rating of the Villanova buzzer. So, like you guys said, I mean, the double clutch shot by Marcus Page, where you're like, holy shit, this is going to go into overtime. Everyone's excited about overtime. Nope. We're going to do a little flea flicker action to my man Jenkins, and he's going to win the game. I remember thinking Jenkins, top draft pick immediately. Of that shot, man. Just because of that shot.
Yeah.
So
He's got
I
ice
loved
in his
it.
veins.
Yep, I loved it. So, anything more to comment on the buzzer? No, we're getting a 2-hour range. We don't got much left to talk about. Golf. Let's go to the Tiger Slam. I'm gonna pull up this. Ooh, 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the large putt by Tiger. Here we go.
In the morning. As Tiger was marching around his putt, Bjorn made his par at 16. Thomas Bjorn stays at 2 under.
Look at that. Look how far away that is.
Putt uphill, breaks to the right.
Are you kidding me?
What a way to finish.
The iconic fist bump. Talk about it, Dodge.
Yeah, so this one is in my top 3 because, I mean, just continued dominance, kind of like when we talked about UConn women's basketball, doing this, winning 4 straight major titles in a row. That's why it's called the Tiger Slam. And yeah, I mean, he was one of the greatest golfers of all time. I guess he's still golfing, right? So he is one of the greatest golfers of all time. And, you know, at this peak level, he was like that Kobe 81-point game, unstoppable. Yeah, there's nothing you could do. So,
yeah, Tiger had a run there for a while where it looked like no one could even touch him. And when somebody's on that streak like that, it's scary. He was a scary man in golf. I love it. Intimidating everyone in his field. I loved it. Kaden.
The craziest thing about this Tiger run is he did the Tiger Slam multiple times. And most golfers nowadays, if they can win one major, it's, you know, peak of their career. And if he wasn't top 3 in a major during this run, it was a disappointment for him. And to see that kind of domination for someone is unreal. I think if he doesn't get hurt, he probably sets the record for the most major wins all time. That's why in 2019 when he came back and won the Masters, that was a crazy moment in
that's
sports.
a pretty big moment.
So
Yeah.
when you're talking about GOATs in their sport, this early 2000s with Tiger is just everyone wanted to be Tiger in the golf game.
And what I think a lot of people don't understand is like Tiger was so consistent there for a while, and that is so hard to do in golf. There's so many variables in golf, from the weather to the course conditions to, you know, how your swing is to the putting. Like you go in such phases, ups and downs in golf. So for him to be this consistent and this consistently dominant was quite incredible. So
Yeah, definitely.
all right, Cade, we got Isaiah Thomas, 53 points after sister passed away. Let's go to this little interview clip, heart-touching moment. Oh. Ah.
It's my sister. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday. She would have been 23 today. So everything I do is for her.
Seconds to go. Washington up by 1. Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is a machine. Thomas high screen from Smart. Ball got there. Thomas to the left. Isaiah Thomas. He's not human. Isaiah Thomas. 46 points. You know.
Crazy.
Ooh, little guy, big heart. Man, this one brought tears to my eyes as a Celtics fan when it happened. You know, be able to go out and play for your sister and put up a performance like that is just, it's unbelievable. It's one of those moments like we talked about earlier where it just writes itself in history. And Isaiah Thomas, that whole season in that part of his chapter when he was on the Celtics, was unstoppable on offense. And I wish the Celtics didn't do what they did to him by letting him go after that year. But that moment, to me, every time I see it, it just makes me emotional. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Definitely
Bigger than
heartfelt.
basketball.
Yep, another bigger than sports moment. It's crazy. I love how many points he put up, and not a lot of people believed in him. He kind of had a spur of the moment for a while, and he was a great player for the Celtics for decent amount of time.
Definitely an underrated player. I mean, he's still underrated for the impact he had in Boston. And obviously this game is just like the manifestation of that. So
all right, going to my number 3. Very biased decision by me. Just like to put that out there, but I'll explain in a second.
oh
Tim
my
Tebow.
god.
Demaryius Thomas.
This isn't even in my top
I'll
50.
explain it. I'll explain it in a sec.
Of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him 3 to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on the New England. They win it on the first play of overtime.
All right. So why this is number 3 for me? The impact this one play had on my childhood is beyond compare. You want to talk about little boys crying? I cried after this. Why? Not because I was so happy. But I cried after this because I found out after this season we were going to get Peyton Manning. And I was upset because I loved Tim Tebow after this play. I loved him. I thought he was my savior. Why the hell would we get rid of Tim Tebow when we had why would we get Peyton Manning when we had Tim Tebow? It made 0 sense to me. And I loved Demaryius Thomas after this play. Demaryius Thomas, favorite Broncos receiver that I've ever seen, watched, and it was probably started with this play. This play changed the chemistry of my brain. I will forever love this play. I stand by number 3.
Obviously, this is a crazy cool play. I mean, especially since Tim Tebow's career ended up not working out in the NFL. This is like his greatest moment. And obviously, Demaryius Thomas, huge impact on the Broncos. So I understand why it's high for you.
Man, just look at Tim Tebow's throwing motion on this play, too. It's just so weird that they just chucked that thing as hard as he could. DT, dot, tutty. And I did see, I remember when this happened, people were saying that your receiver in motion on the bottom wasn't set, and it should have been a penalty on that play, and it should have never happened. Illegal. So,
well, honestly, the Broncos, if you remember that season, we shouldn't have been in the playoffs to begin with. The Steelers were a much better team. We actually somehow snuck in the playoffs, and we kept winning games we weren't supposed to with Tim Tebow. He had a great run there. So it wasn't just that play that season. He just kept making plays and somehow winning games. So I loved that season, and for them to cap it off like that, obviously we lost the next round, but yeah. All right, Dodge, you're number 2. Olympics.
All right. So we talked about this, but yeah, I mean, 8 gold medals. What an individual feat, and talk about dominance at a level that's unseen and probably will go unseen forever. It's unexplainable.
Yeah.
So that's why it's number 2 to me.
Any more comments on this, Kate, or are you good?
I'm good.
You know what's crazy, though? You guys both have it in your top 10. I don't even have it in my top 50.
Oh, my gosh, dude. You just don't watch the Olympics.
I do, because I have Gable Steveson in there, but...
that's true.
All right. Kate and I share the top 2. We have the exact same top 2. Our number 2 is Ray Allen, corner 3, game 6. Let's watch it because I love watching this play. I could watch this play over and over again. Hear the Mike Breen call over and over again.
So the Spurs foul. Should Miami go for the 3 right away? Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Absolutely nuts. Kay, do you want to start?
Yeah. And you just think about it, 2 big threes going at it in the finals. You know, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Tony Parker against LeBron's Heat with Bosch and Wade. And man, the Spurs controlled that series. It felt like the whole time until the roof just went off the building on that last play. And for me, I think Mike Breen made this play top 2 for me, because without that call, it's maybe top 15 because it's still big, but just the way he calls it, everyone knows that call. Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it was crazy because the Spurs should have won this game.
Mhm.
They should have. Tim Duncan's not in this game. He doesn't get obviously Chris Bosh gets the rebound. Tim Duncan was their best rebounder. It's not in the play. If you notice that. Changes the series. Not only do they lose this game, but they lose the next, and the Heat win it. They go back to back. LeBron, if they don't win this game, LeBron has 3 rings. 2 rings because he has a Mickey Mouse one too. But just saying, it does change that, and I just think the moment's crazy. I mean, for it to end up like that and have such a momentum swing, not only on this game but the next, not many moments like that. And like you said, Mike Breen, his call is just crazy. So
yeah,
Dodge,
definitely
you
the
look a little
call is
upset over
crazy.
there.
I'm a little surprised it's number 2 for you guys. I have it on my list, but it's like 28, 30. I don't know, something like that. But obviously, it's a big moment in finals history. The reason why it's not higher for me is because like it wasn't a walk off or anything. It definitely changed the whole series, but and it was huge. I remember watching it, and I think the call does it absolute justice and service. So
yeah. All right, Dodge, you're number 1. World Series Game 3. George Bush throws the first pitch. Let's watch it after this ad plays because YouTube does not like me. Here we go.
First pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
I'm going to skip a little bit through the first pitch. Here we go. All right, Dodge, what about this moment? Put it at number 1 for you.
all right. So the reason why this moment is above number 1 is because at number 1 is because it's above baseball, it's above sports, and it means that much to like the entire United States, right? And the city of New York and the state of New York. Obviously 9/11 had happened and the country was at first, reeling and hurt because of that attack. And, this is just another moment where the president, George W. Bush, he kind of helped unite the country at this time. And, he goes out there with the bulletproof vest on, which is, that's got to be difficult to throw a freaking strike with. And he doesn't go to the base of the mound like every first pitch does. He goes to the top of the mound and he goes out there and throws an absolute just strike, right to the catcher. And the significance of it is it's just crazy because, he throws one in the dirt and, Jeter told the president at the time, like, you throw in the dirt, you're going to get booed. And, but obviously this moment is just bigger than baseball and it meant something to everybody in the nation. And that's why it's number 1 for me.
Yeah, it's an interesting number 1 for sure because I don't think most people would, not most. I don't think every person would select that as number 1, but I do agree it definitely means bigger than sports, especially after 2001 attacks. And you think about what other presidents have thrown a first pitch,
Yeah, and you think about like, yeah. Just
So,
that it's a historical moment.
Mhm.
Like, it's
Yep.
something that will honestly be taught, like, about it probably in history, in history classes.
Yeah.
Versus, like, we have other moments in this list that are bigger than sports, but those moments, I don't want to knock them down or anything. They obviously mean a lot, but this meant a lot to the nation as a whole.
Yeah.
So,
Kid, do you have anything on this?
Yeah, not too much to add, but yeah, one word always comes to mind. It's just unity when I think about this, because for, that moment, no matter who you were cheering for, everyone was on the same team. Sports didn't matter. That game didn't matter at that moment. It was a country healing, joining together at that moment. So, absolutely.
Definitely very, very special. So, this moment's also special in a much different way, but Kaden, you and I have the same number one, the kick 6. Here we go.
Field it and run it out. All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is
Auburn's going to win the football game.
Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back.
Nuts. All right, I'll go first this time. I think this play is so special for so many reasons. One, it's a rivalry game. Like, how could you not like this? I mean, like, it's the Iron Bowl, man. Like, two of the biggest fan bases in college football, and it comes down to last moment. Auburn, huge underdog at the time, and they go for the kick, a super long kick, and not only do they miss, but the other team returns it over 100 yards? I mean, like, just nuts. When have you ever seen another returned missed field goal? You can't think of one that comes to mind other than this play. It's one of a kind. Moment stands alone. The call from the commentators makes it even greater. And I think it's just a moment that will last forever.
Yep, exactly. Agree with you. Everyone remembers the kick 6. Everyone will remember that. We'll tell our kids about it when we get older, about this greatest moment in college football history. And at the time, it was Auburn, Alabama, LSU, kind of SEC dominating, trading wins, trading good seasons. And this game, Alabama, I believe they were undefeated. They were really good at the time. And it's in Auburn, and they like to kick a 56-yarder instead of taking it to OT. And, right in the returner's lap, 109 yards later, you get one of the greatest plays in college football history.
Yeah, it was a great play. Dodge, you got anything to add on this?
Yeah, I mean, it was on my list too, not quite as high, but yeah, obviously this is a moment that we'll tell our future kids about and future generations about. And it's, I mean, Bama was the top, and in this rivalry game, even though Auburn, obviously with Cam Newton, had a few years of dominance themselves, it just reminds you that anything can happen in a rivalry game. And
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Yeah, no, huge moment. So I respect it.
Absolutely. All right, boys. All 2 hours and 20 minutes. We made it. Great list. Super, super fun. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. Super fun episode. Remember, part 2 is going to be out tomorrow. Make sure to join that one as well to be entered into the giveaway. Top 50 hip hop artists is just going to be me, myself, and I. Probably a little bit more controversy, probably a little bit more crowd engagement. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Kaden and Dodge for putting in the time on these lists. And yeah, appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you for having us. Here's to 50 more.
Yes, sir. Keep it
Yeah,
going.
thanks
Logical
for having
Nonsense
us.
Pod. We are out.
Good luck. Good luck on part 2.